What is going on, everybody? So, I just want to talk a little bit about the gambling and my gambling experiences that I've had with playing blackjack and playing roulette, bubble craps, um, and baccarat. I just want to give a humongous. I mean, this is me being humble, bro. Like, I'm not this big old big time. I've only started this YouTube channel probably about, um, maybe about a couple of months ago. I mean, I've had a YouTube channel. I never knew what to do with it or what to add or what kind of content to create or any of that stuff. I actually just opened up, I started a TikTok. And that's more of it's a whole different side of me as a person of who I am. It's more of my, what I do for a living and all that stuff. I was doing the gambling thing over there, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to go a different way on my TikTok and I'm going to start making content on YouTube to see where it goes. And I actually started doing uh, playing blackjack. And I started winning at playing blackjack. The only problem with me playing blackjack and creating content is I live in California. And for those who don't know, in California, it's really, really hard for you to create content inside of the casino. They don't want you recording and all that stuff. So I'm still trying to get with marketing and figure all that stuff out. And I've called my host at several different locations. I have a host at a couple different casinos, and they've actually reached out to marketing and seeing what they can do as a part of you know uh, getting me letting me record at their places, at their casinos. And they're not really being, one of them said, hey, you know what, we don't want them looking at our cards, we don't want them, looking at, our chips. And I'm like, no, 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 it's just going to be, you know at the felt, my hands, and that's about it. A big inspiration to my gambling, as far as like going to baccarat, doing bubble craps, and doing all that stuff, has a great deal to do with it. Is Bluff. Shout out to Bluff. I actually went to Vegas this past couple days, and I actually went down. Me and my wife went down to El Cortez, and we went to go see the El Cortez and all that. And it just so happens Bluff was there, and we got to kind of watch him. We were in one of the videos in the background, as a background person, and it was really cool. I had a really good time. I was shout out to Bluff, shout out to Reggie Brandino. All of them were there. I didn't get to meet them, but my wife met him. That was a big deal to her, so I let her go, and she did that. And I actually wanted to go in with Bluff and ask him, if he wanted to go in on with me, and maybe we could shoot a little bit of content together. But I know he's busy and he probably gets a lot of people asking him stuff like that. But I would have been totally down to do some stuff, some content with them. Hopefully this will uh, reach him. I'm gonna tag him in this video, and if he sees it and he invites me down there, I'll go down there, and hopefully we can shoot some content. And I'm really just trying to get my name out there a little bit with the online, YouTube. I mean, I only got like 51 followers or whatever the case may be, and it's not too big. I'm not a big old giant, person to be, I usually start off with, $1,000, maybe 2,000. Um, and my biggest revenue to give me free play is my blackjack playing. I can turn $1,000 from playing blackjack into like $5,000 in a night, maybe 6,000. Little bits at a time. I don't go and I don't rape the casinos for thousands and thousands and thousands and take off. I pretty much just recycle the money. I'll go in and I'll throw $1,000 on the table, make $1,000, go dump 500 in bubble craps, go dump 500 in the slot machines, and if I win from there, then I'll go back to bubble craps or I'll go back to baccarat. And all this stuff has been taught to me just by Bluff, watching his videos. I watched countless videos of his, and so I'm still really learning on how to bet on crapless, and what's a good idea to bet on 12 on 2. I barely found out that 11 is called a yo. Deuces is a 2. Midnight is same thing as boxcars, which is a 12. So I'm just trying to figure out my betting strategies, and actually I know it takes money to make money, and just trying to figure out what is going to work for me is the betting strategies. That's going to cost me the most, the betting strategies, until I could get this thing kind of built up and go from there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about blackjack and who's out there that is really good at blackjack. I don't play. I play by basic strategy, but I also play by feeling. There's some people that will play right as along with basic strategy, which is perfectly fine. But sometimes there's times where you got to deviate from that basic strategy, and if you just go out and there's times where I'll split twos against a 8 or a 9, or I'll split threes against a 8 or a 9. There's times that I will do that, because you got other cards that are gonna make a 7-3 or a 7-2 against the 8 or a 9, and you're more likely gonna make a hand. So that's one of the things that I'm really lucky on when I'm betting like that. Is I'll open up, if there's two of us sitting at a table, I'll play two hands, $100 a hand, and and play like that. But if it's just me, I usually just play one on one with the dealer, and I really prefer to play one on one with the dealer, because I don't got other attitudes, other personalities trying to get in and trying to jump in and jump out and all that stuff. A bunch of people that are afraid to play the way you should play. And one of the things that I heard a lot of people play when I first got into this gambling thing was, you got to detach yourself from the money. You can't be connected to the money. You can't be attached to the money. The more you're attached to the money, or the more you're with the money, your betting is going to be distracted. You're not going to bet like you should bet. You're not going to be doubling down like you want to double down. You're going to be too afraid to lose the money that you got out there. And that's one of the big things that you need to look out for, is the money situation. You got to make sure you have your right bankroll. You got to make sure you have everything that is going to keep you going, so that you can continue to gamble, because that's why you're there, is to make money. A lot of people I don't like playing with are people who are there just for the entertainment. I'm not there for entertainment. I'm there to make money. And I'm now, since I've started creating content with making money, and it's been working for me. I decided, I'm gonna open up a YouTube, and I'm gonna see where it goes. And if I be honest with everybody, nobody cares what anybody does. They just, just don't lie about what you're doing. You know what I mean? I'm not a millionaire. I don't have quadrillions and quintillions of dollars to be spending on whatever. But what I do have is I have the experience and the knowledge to try to learn new things. Like I would just play blackjack for hours and hours and hours. And now that I started watching these other videos of bubble crap videos and roulette videos, and I'm figuring out strategies on how to win in roulette. You pick one number and you're gonna win 36-1. So I never knew that, right? And so I look at the roulette wheel, and you got 0 and double 0 on opposite sides of the wheel. So if you bet that by itself, right? You bet that by itself. So now you cut your odds in half. It's like 17-1 if you bet that, right? Then if you look at the numbers and you see 17 is next to 5, bet 17 and 5, and that's one end of the wheel. And if you look at the other one and it's 36 and 2 that's next to each other, that's one end of the wheel, right? So now you cut your odds down even lower. By the time you bet like $30, right? And you're betting $30 in $5 chips, $5 increments, right? I've hit 2 times, 3 times, 4 times in a row. And each time for $5, that paid $175 for a $5 chip on the number. I don't bet the whole, all the mostly half the numbers. I try to get the wheel like a cross, right? I get the 0 and the double 0. They're directly across from each other. Now that cuts the wheel in half. That means that cuts my percentage in half, right? So then I go cross up and down, and that cuts the percentage in half again. And if I go one more across, that cuts that down even more. So now, even if I don't hit one, and then I got to bet again and I hit another one, I'm still making profit. I'm still making profit from that, and I'm still getting it out. So that's just one of the things. This is my first actual video that I don't even know how to do a thumbnail. I don't know how to do any of that. So if anybody's out there that can reach out to me and help me create a thumbnail or any of that stuff, that would be totally cool. I would really appreciate it. I don't even know how long the videos are supposed to be going. I bought a mic so I can, talk to people while I'm at home. And then when I'm creating content out there at the casinos, I can talk to them and just kind of go from there. I mean, this little setup right here cost me $600. And all it is an iRig Pro, a nice little cool microphone, and, my iPhone that I have, and plugged it all in. I'm actually blocking the light with my mic, or else it'd be super bright. You wouldn't be able to see my face. You wouldn't be able to see my 5 head. And so I want to shout out Brandino. I want to shout out Bluff. If you guys see this video, please reach out to me. I'm willing to fly to Vegas to do some content with you. If you would, that would be awesome. YouTube, do your thing, reach out to them. Hopefully we could shoot some stuff together. If not, that's cool too. I'm here in California. I usually fly to Vegas 4 times a year. I'm a real big Raiders fan. That's what I go out there to do, is I go out there to gamble, and I go out there to watch the Raiders lose. So with that being said, you guys stay safe and be good. All right?